And meanwhile, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows is scheduled to appear virtually in a Phoenix courtroom moments from now. What's that case about?
Right. Arizona's an active place. Mark Meadows, as well as Mike Roman, who is the election day operations director for Trump's 2020 campaign. Both of them are coming for a virtual arraignment here today ahead of their official mugshot and booking. Of course, they are two of the 18 co-defendants stemming from that indictment from the Arizona Attorney General back in April over the alleged alternate elector scheme here. We are still awaiting 3 other co-defendants to go through their arraignment here later this month. At that point in time, this trial process will begin to proceed here. But again, when we're talking about this alleged alternate elector scheme, not only are there charges that individuals are facing here in Arizona, but Georgia, Michigan, and now the latest in Wisconsin as well this week, Jose.
Vaughn Hilliard in Scottsdale, thank you so very much. And with us now to talk about this and more is Brendan Buck, former press secretary to former House Speaker John Boehner and a former press secretary to 212 Republican vice presidential nominee Paul Ryan. He is also an MSNBC political analyst. So, Brendan, Trump was once again asked about whether he will target political opponents if he were to be reelected. Here's what he told Sean Hannity last night.
People are claiming you want retribution. People are claiming you want what has happened to you done to Democrats. Would you do that ever?
Look, what's happened to me has never happened in this country before. And it has to stop because...
Wait a minute. I want to hear that again. It has to stop.
Well, it does have to stop because we're not going to have a country...
So, Brendan, the former president's made a number of kind of different comments on this issue in recent days. Have you been able to figure out what Trump's position on retribution actually is?
Well, what I do know is there are a lot of people around Donald Trump these days who think that this is completely in bounds and something that they should absolutely be doing. It's hard to ever know exactly what Donald Trump is, fanning the flames just for attention or whether he actually believes it. But there's been a dramatic shift in the Republican Party around these issues. The word lawfare is thrown around a lot right now, and it is accepted by a lot of people that not only was he treated unfairly, that there is a payback that is due. Now, I think there's real questions of whether he can actually execute that. I mean, there are systems in place. You have to have a judge and a jury and a whole bunch of people in your administration, career officials willing to go beyond norms to do such a thing. But I wouldn't put it past him to try it. And I think it's something we really need to pay a lot of attention to because it has to have really serious impacts for not only for the people he's targeting, but our entire system of government.
Yeah, and Trump also said last night that he will announce his vice presidential pick at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee next month. NBC News is reporting that Trump's 4 top prospects are North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, Senators Marco Rubio of Florida, Tim Scott of South Carolina, and Vance of Ohio. NBC News was first to report the VP contenders recently received vetting material. Said, you were press secretary for Paul Ryan, who was Mitt Romney's running mate in 2012. What does the vetting process look like normally at this point?
Yeah, it's interesting. This all feels very conventional. I mean, the campaigns are going to be asking for every piece of financial information you've ever had. They're going to want to dig into all of your personal background. It runs your entire life. I mean, when Paul Ryan was named VP, I was the one person on the campaign sort of answering questions about it. And you can't imagine not only their taxes, but every vote they ever took. If you're a governor, every bill you ever signed, everything that you've ever done, they're going to want to scrutinize because the last thing you want for your VP is to become a distraction. You want a VP who's going to go out there.
So who does that vetting? Who does that vetting on a campaign?
Well, there should be somebody who is put in charge of that, and usually they're going to hire a law firm to go through all of these things, and probably some forensic accountants to look into the financials in their history. So there's a whole team that is devoted to digging into these things so that you're prepared and so that you don't name somebody who has some skeletons in their closet that you didn't know about.
Brendan Buck, thank you so very much. Really appreciate it.